Hi, I'm Michael Killen. The state of California is a great state. It has developed a new program to help every homeowner in the state decrease their energy costs, improve the comfort of their home, as well as improve the health of their home. I have invited Will Chandler. He is an expert in helping homeowners understand this new opportunity to improve the value of their home and obtain the other benefits I just mentioned. We're going to discuss that topic right now. Will, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on this program. And would I be correct to say that you are a building contractor who specializes in remodeling houses?
Yes.
And the area where you have most of your clients, customers, is in the South Bay, the peninsula area of California.
That's exactly correct.
And I am tired today, and I think you know I have a bad knee. Would you tell me about Energy Upgrade California project?
Sure. Energy Upgrade California has been implemented to give homeowners an incentive to take action on their homes to make it more efficient and healthy and comfortable at the same time. And of course, the social impact with carbon footprint, and to reduce the need to build extra power plants and to have to use carbon to create more energy.
In a way, this sounds like an existing rebate program that we have from PG&E or from other utilities, or it sounds like another plan to underwrite solar energy or something. Is that right?
I would not say that it's something similar. It's taking a lot of years of different developments in the way of technology to be able to implement this type of program. It relies on certain technologies, certain software tools, as well as the expert of the participating contractors to be able to make it happen. So it's quite unique.
Okay. And well, tell me, how does this thing start out? First of all, I'm a homeowner, and I guess I'm concerned with if I'm spending too much money on my gas and electric bill. I'm concerned with the quality of the air, and also I like to be very comfortable. So how do I get started with this program?
Well, typically it starts with some concern with the homeowner. They know that don't know what. They hear about don't know what. They hear about the Energy Upgrade California program. So they log on to the website and they type in their county. And then from there, there is a list of participating contractors that they can call to have come in and do a home energy assessment to be able to determine. From there, after the assessment is completed, that data goes into a software modeling tool that, with alternative suggestions, can predict a savings outcome. And when you're armed with that knowledge, the estimate of the work that needs to be done, and the predicted savings, the homeowner can make an educated decision on whether or not to move forward to actually do the energy upgrades.
Okay. Why should I bother going to a website to find a contractor? Can't I just look in the yellow pages and find any contractor who'll do the work for me?
Well, to get an Energy Upgrade California rebate, you would need to use a participating contractor that has been qualified by PG&E.
Are you one of them?
I am, yes.
And to to become qualified, a participating contractor?
To begin with, I have to be certified through the Building Performance Institute. I have a building analyst certification. In addition to that, I need to have certain items such as a certain amount of liability insurance and be a licensed contractor in good standing, as well as some other criteria. And then you have to apply to become a participating. Once you go through that approval process, there's a little bit of training to use their portal to be able to upload all of this information from the homeowners. and then at that point, you're good to go.
All right. I had a contractor on our house within the last year.
Mm-hmm.
He never heard of Energy Upgrade California.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he knew that this, he's a good man, fine work, but I don't think he had the slightest understanding of how to make a house more energy efficient.
To look at a house through a green lens does take a certain amount of training. For me personally, I went through a green certification program with the National Association of Remodeling Industry, and it was from that experience that I even became aware that there was such a thing as home performance contracting. And that's when we decided to open up a division of Chandler called EcoApproach. And it's EcoApproach who performs these energy audits. But it's not something that's widely known. I only knew about it because I went through the green certification program.
All right, I did a little research before I came here,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked to the County of Santa Clara headquarters. I believe they told me in the entire county, which isn't pretty much, there's only 24 contractors that are certified to do the kind of work apparently you do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your field? Is it that few?
While we use the term few, in actuality, there's far more contractors than there are customers. In addition to that, the majority of the contractors specialize in something specific, such as insulation or heating and air conditioning or thermal envelope. Very few of them are actually a building analyst where they can do the entire gamut of home remediation work, such as a building analyst.
So your company is Chandler?
Chandler Building Development is the remodeling, design and build remodeling company, and EcoApproach is a division of Chandler.
How do you spell this? EcoApproach?
EcoApproach is a name I came up with. It basically was derived from ecological and approach, and I simply put them together. So it's ECO, P as in Paul, ROACH.
Okay. Now I can see you have an affinity for the green.
Yes.
Okay. The environment, lowering carbon footprint, you know, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the state's website.
Mm-hmm.
I find you. Okay. I invite you in, and then what happens? You do some kind of assessment of the situation in my home?
Yes, EcoApproach will perform a full building analyst energy assessment as determined by the Building Performance Institute. In addition to that, EcoApproach has a few additional things that we throw in, such as humidity and some other items as well. And then from there, we generate a report, and the details from that report gets put into a software modeling tool that does all these algorithms and calculations that when also accompanied by suggested alternatives will predict a savings amount. And from that savings, Energy Upgrade California can determine a rebate amount.
Okay, notice you have all these toys, and you use these to do an assessment?
That's correct.
Wow, it's a lot of toys.
More actually that I didn't bring in because the door was too small.
Would you just tell me about some of them and what they do real quickly?
Okay, well, this is a combustion analyzer. We use it to measure carbon monoxide. It's extreme that we don't overseal a home. And sometimes if you have appliances that are emitting carbon monoxide and then you have oversealed the home, you can create a dangerous condition within the home.
Sure.
So we use something called worst case depressuration combined with the carbon monoxide measurements to determine where the house is from a building envelope and safety perspective. So that's just one instrument.
All right.
In addition to that, we have the infrared thermal imaging camera, which will infrared pictures that will show things like your insulation effectiveness or identify locations of actual leaks, and you can create it into your report, which becomes very compelling evidence. It's like seeing an X-ray for a tooth. When you see that, it compels you to want. When you see that, it compels you to want to get it fixed.
Amazing. Some more toys?
Sure. Now this one is money. of all the toys that we have here.
A duck blaster.
Or duct blower. Basically what it does is after sealing up all of the ducts, special tape so that we can conceal all that space, we pressurize it, and then it will measure how much air it takes to go in there to hold a certain pressurization level. And from that we can actually quantify how much the ducts leak.
Okay, and duct leakage, is that a big deal?
It is a big deal. The average California home loses about 30% of its air out into the attic or underneath your house. So that's money that's just basically going out into the environment.
Does that mean 30% of what I'm paying for energy I'm just wasting?
Or 30% of what you're paying for energy in your conditioning system is wasted.
Okay.
So there's a huge potential to identify a way to save money by sealing up your systems. But the powerful thing is you have an actual amount of leakage. You know what it is to begin with. You combine it by blowing a little bit of fog inside there, and that shows you where the leaks are actually coming out of your ducts. And then when you go back and fix it, you can go back and retest to actually prove that you have sealed up the ducts.
Okay, so far I've heard a few things. You have something to check the carbon dioxide, and I guess it's not good to have a lot of carbon dioxide in the house.
Or carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide, and that's
Right.
not good for my wife, for me,
Mm-hmm.
my children, maybe my grandchildren, so it's a health issue.
Sure.
Right? And then you have this camera where you can take infrared photos and determine the insulation, how effective it is. Okay, and that's primarily a heat loss issue, I think. And then you have that toy over there, which determines if there's leaks in the ducts. And if it's leaks in the ducts, it's like having a hole in your wallet or your pocket. Money is just being thrown away. Are any more toys?
Yes, there's a toy that we couldn't bring in, and that is something called the door blower test. Basically, we seal up the entire building envelope of the house, your doors, your windows, your sliders, even your chimney damper is also closed. And after all that's sealed up, we pressurize the house very much the same way that we pressurized your ducts, only in this case it's a negative pressure. But just the same, we are able to quantify how much your home leaks. And then while that instrument is running, you combine it with your thermal imaging camera, and you can see where these leaks are coming in, around your light fixtures, around the penetrations of your plumbing, your light switches, doors, windows, etc.
Oh, so like I have lights in my ceiling, and I have no idea if the folks who put those lights in sealed them properly. And since it's where two things, a lot of heat can rise right up into the attic, and I have to keep heating the house. Okay, is that, and your device will help me discover these kind of leaks?
Exactly. Yes, it will. And combined, you quantify how much it leaks, and then with the thermal imaging camera, you identify where the leaks are.
Okay. Do you have another toy that you like?
There's another toy that I don't have with me, but it's a personal carbon monoxide meter. We wear it at all times. Every now and then we find ourselves in a house that has got a very unhealthy situation. And as a tester, we need to be safety conscious. And so we will say we have to actually stop the test and let the homeowner know that they have a home that's very unsafe.
So health issues are especially important to all of us, and especially if we have new babies, little children, and in some cases even the elderly, and then people like me who are just there too. And I think we've all grown up not even being aware of this kind of situation, or that this type of service is available. So you use this equipment for an assessment, and can you give me an idea how long it takes to do the assessment, and how much is it going to cost?
Well, on the average, it takes about 3 hours at the home, and we do a combination of instruments to establish the data, and we combine that with a physical inspection. In other words, we actually crawl through the attic, crawl underneath your crawl space, walk around the perimeter of the house, any pictures, and then we go back to the office and then we put together a report. I actually have a sample report right here. And from the report, we're able to take all that data, as I said, put it into the software modeling tool.
Okay, a lot of work. More work than my doctor does when an exam. How much to get a report like that?
EcoApproach charges $500 for the Energy Upgrade California built assessment.
Okay, and then work has to be done, maybe.
That's correct. Now, EcoApproach and Channel Building work together. So because of that, we're able to offer a credit for the cost of that assessment. So ultimately, the assessment becomes free.
Okay, so let's say there's $3,000 of work has to be done. And then you give me a $500 credit?
That's correct.
You do the work, and then unlike all other contractors that work for me, they do the work for me, they do the work, they go away, and if the doors close and the lights work, that's it. But there's not an energy or health test done. But you come back and you do a health test?
We run the test during the same visit. Besides the carbon monoxide testing and something called worst case depressurization testing, which is where we position all the interior doors and turn all of your exhaust fans to be able to create a negative pressure.
So when you first come in, you do a test, your assessment, and then you then do a test.
That's
right?
correct.
And then you have to put that in a computer system, and do you have to make that information available to PG&E or to the state of California?
Part of the process. So we'll test and put all the information into the software modeling tool, and then when everything is complete, we upload all this information into the Energy Upgrade California portal. And that's a process that we need to do to qualify the homeowner for the energy upgrade work.
Oh, you mean I have to fill out all these forms now and then submit it to G&E or somebody else to get my rebate?
The good news is the contractor gets to do all that. We do all the qualifying at the front end, and even at the back end, when everything has been completed, we are the ones who go out and get your rebate. All you do is sit back and wait for a check.
God, one of the most difficult things about having any work done for a rebate is to find all the papers, find out what we need to do, and then send it off to PG&E or somebody else. You do it all.
Yes. Yep.
That is that is amazing.
It's a lot of work.
You know, I'd like your company in a month to come on over to my house and do one of these assessments. Okay. And I feel my house is in pretty good shape, but on the other hand, I don't think anyone has tested for any health hazards, any leakage. And we've had a lot of new things put in, but my wife and I have no idea if we are doing the best we can, not just to keep our energy costs down and to have a good, healthy environment, but we also have an interest in lowering our carbon footprint and using as little energy as possible.
In addition to the testing and some of the health items that we mentioned, we'll also look for things for asbestos and pest infestation. We also will do humidity analysis. And all of these combined will result in a health profile that's also included into our report.
Good. Do we have your URL?
Yes. EcoApproach is www.ecoapproach.com.
Okay. And am I correct? You are sort of like certified. You've met a whole bunch of test requirements of the county and state of California?
I'm certified with the Building Performance Institute, which is recognized by the state of California as an official energy assessment entity.
Now, do you have one bit of advice for us consumers that you think we ought to consider?
Absolutely. The biggest misconception is that an owner says, oh, I know what's wrong with my house. I just need to throw a little insulation up there. Or I just need to, without understanding the entire picture, the whole house as a system, you're really doing yourself a disservice. The best thing that a homeowner can do is to get a full assessment of your home to understand all the things that need to be done. You don't necessarily need to take action on everything, but at least you know what things need to be done.
Guess that this California program is going to give me a rebate, and maybe it's going to take 2 years before I recoup any expenses, and then from then on, it's saving after savings for a long time, and it's going to increase the value of my home. Is that right?
This is true. However, you only have 2012 to take advantage of it because it ends at that time.
All right. Can I say, I always seem to forget your name. Will Chandler.
That's correct.
And your offices are?
Will Chandler, Chandler Building Development. It's in Sunnyvale, California.
Okay.
And you can find us on the web at chandlerbuilding.net.
Okay. I think this is I think everyone should do this. Mm-hmm. And Will, thank you very much. You've been a wonderful guest. We're going to take a break, and then I have another guest coming on. And I'll see you in approximately a month at my house.
I look forward to it.
Hi. I'm Michael Killen, and my guest was Will Chandler. And in a moment, I'm going to have another guest come on the show. And what we are going to do is, this person has already had an assessment of her home, and I want to get some insights into her experience. And then while we're bringing her in from the dressing room and the makeup room, I want to point out that within a week or so, I'm going to announce the coast-to-coast tour of my new painting, which is sustainability, which is the world just painting on that subject. And I expect it to be the most important painting ever made on the topic. And my guest is Rose Inhofe.
Rose Offner.
Oh, Rose Offner.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming here. And you had your house assessed recently.
Yes. Yes. We had our house assessed by PG&E, and they came out to your house, and my mother had told me about it. And our PG&E bills are so high, and my husband's been complaining for years because, you know, the cost keeps going up, and I was wondering if something might be wrong with the house. And so they came out and they did an assessment, and it was wonderful. They did so much work on the house. It was amazing. They put weather stripping underneath the doors. They apparently we didn't have a blanket wrapped around our water heater, and we had improper ventilation there. On the door, there's supposed to be ventilation, and so they wrapped it up, which is an expensive thing, and put bands and stuff around it. They put energy-efficient bulbs throughout the house, so it was really amazing. Light sensor, so that when you walk in the hall, the light goes on and off automatically.
So,
great.
You know what I'm starting to come around to appreciate? You know, sometimes I first think about adding solar, but that's a pretty big investment, and who knows, it could take 10, 15 years to get the money back, and there's a lot of complications. But apparently, all of us, if we just look at our house, and bring in an expert like the gentleman, Will Chandler, and have him do an overall assessment, we find that we can decrease our energy costs, have a more healthy environment, a more comfortable environment, and increase the value because it uses less energy. That is a wonderful way. You know, it's a simple way to make progress with our home. So I'm delighted that you and your husband have taken this.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Hi, I'm Michael Killen, and I hope you enjoyed the two interviews.